beginning of this video, I don't, as many years of experience I have, I still, if I walk into a new organization and leading a project, I'm going to feel nervous. Not nervous that I can't do the job, not nervous that I can't execute on what has been asked of me, but I'm nervous because I put on a lot of expectation on myself to be exceptional. But I still have to understand that there's still a process, there's still a journey, because all of these people are new, the organization is new, so I can't beat myself up that, oh man, I didn't know that, I didn't know. I'm going to learn it along the way. So you, again, are not an imposter. Point number two, learn and develop your leadership styles. I went over 11 with you from a high level, and then I went deeper with 3 of them that I'm actually doing right now. So again, go back and listen to the video about those 11 and go do your homework on those. I'm actually going to do a video on those 11 because as I was doing my homework, I was like, man, I haven't done a video on these 11 different types of leadership styles. So do that. In the last and final point, please invest in personal and professional development as you move along in your career. I truly hope that you enjoyed today's video. I took my time with this because I know what it feels like to be a new project manager, the anxiety, the pressure that we're already putting on ourselves, and then what the stakeholders are putting on ourselves. And don't be one of those that you are a new project manager, meaning you're the first one that they've hired. That's even a challenge. So there's so many challenges, but I'm going to tell you this, you got this. I'm going to tell you this, you can do this. I'm going to tell you this, you have to believe in yourself the way I'm believing in you right now. And are you overwhelmed by the weight of expectation resting on your shoulders as a new project manager? Well, if it sounds too familiar, then fear not. You're exactly where you need to be today to listen to today's episode. Today's episode, if you're new to the channel, I go by the name of ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks out there, we're not going to make it difficult or challenging. It just simply means Ed. My job here, my goal is to be able to unpack today's episode, which is entitled, What Advice Would You Give a New Project Manager? Again, what advice would you give a new project manager? I have an 8-point framework which unpacks today's title. So I hope you enjoy today's episode. You know, family, one of the things that I realized is that uh, when you become a new project manager, and what a new project manager to me looks like, there's so many different variations. So I'm going to cover 1 or 2 here. So new project manager to me is someone that maybe was a project coordinator and then got the project management role. Another variation of that is that, hey, you went and got your CAPM, and you may have went and got a Google certification, and an organization said, hey, we really like your background. Instead of being a project coordinator, we want you to be a project manager. That's the second variation. And a third variation, which is rare, but I've seen this happen as well, is that a project coordinator gets brought on as a project coordinator and they are actually leading a project instead of having a project manager lead the actual project. All of those there to me are considered a new project manager. And what tends to happen a lot of times is now that you went through all the training, meaning the theorizing of this is how you lead a project, now that you're in a position where now it all depends, and like I said at the beginning, it's all on your shoulders. What are you going to do now? I love what Tim Grover said in one of my favorite books of all time. Is in my top 3 favorite books of all time. And what he said there was a conversation with Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan before a game, which was probably rare, was like, "Hey man, I'm a little nervous on here. I got butterflies in my stomach." And Tim, it was so funny. Tim said, "Well, make sure they're going all in the same direction." And my translation, you're going to have to go pick up the book to go see what he was really talking about. And by the way, the book is called Unstoppable. But what I loved about the actual book is, I mean, my translation of that part was saying, "Hey, yep, you're nervous. Yep, you should be nervous. This is a huge game. This is a big game. Now that we got that out the way, what are you going to go do about it? Because I know you've trained hard enough to be able to put yourself in a position so you can win." And so I say that to my new project managers that are in that space. because a lot of times, and I'm going to get into point number one, which is really, I should say, the protocol before I actually get into number one, is basically more or less of saying that a lot of new project managers, they have the imposter syndrome. Okay, you know what? I'm the forget it. This is the truth. I know a lot of people are not even going to share this with you as project managers. We all feel like we're imposters when we start leading a new project. Okay, ED man, you said something that was very powerful and maybe truthful, and you probably shouldn't have said it publicly, but it needs to be said. This channel is built on truth. This channel is helping new project managers out. This channel is built to bring in positive change, and as with regards to personal development and project management. And only way I can do that is by setting the stage appropriately, not misleading you, not lying to you about, yeah, you get in project management and you'll kill it. No, my job is to really pull back the curtain so you can see everything, and then you can make an intelligent decision based on what you've seen. So why do I say we're all, doesn't matter how many years you have, you could have 10 years, you could have 20 years, you could have 30 years. You get nervous when you're leading your first project in a new organization. Okay, maybe you haven't. I have. I know when I went to a new organization and they were like, okay, project manager, you got the experience, you got the certification, here's the project. And I'm nervous because of the weight of the expectation. Now, what are they expecting of me? And see, here's the first thing too, and then you start going down, you start telling yourself these stories where you start saying, maybe I'm an imposter. And this is point number one. You are not an imposter. You've done the work. What do you mean you've done the work? Well, what I mean is that you went and took the you went and watched videos like this. You went and got your Google certification or your PMP or your CAPM, whatever that thing is. You've read the books. Now it's time to put that stuff to practice and see where your areas of opportunity is, where the gaps are, what do you need to work on. And so when I say you're not an imposter, is because you're not an imposter, because this is a journey. If you've watched any of my videos, watched anything that I've ever said since day one, I've always said this is a journey. The destination is not, it means something, but it doesn't mean anything, because there's been many times I've gotten to the destination, I've been disappointed, but the journey has been more fruitful because I've seen who I've become along the way. I'm sorry to drain point number one, but point number one needs to be said, because there's somebody out there that's struggling, that has the anxiety, like, man, you know, I guess I'm not good enough. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I don't know what. Get rid of all of that. Yes, it's there. We all experience it. It doesn't matter how many years. However, the key that separates the people that have been there before versus the people that have not been there before, meaning more newer project managers, is that we get a chance to look back at our success that we've had along the way. And that just looks like, I always said, you have to keep if we're looking at a vehicle, when you're driving in a vehicle, one of the things is that you have a windshield, and I don't know about you, but in my vehicle I have a rear view mirror, and that rear view mirror is meant for me to only glance at to see what's behind me, but drive with the windshield. A lot of times we can get caught up in the rear view mirror, but that's not where the opportunity is. The opportunity is in front of us. I think I've said some, family, and it just missed you. So I'm gonna slow it down one more time. The point I'm making, family, is that yes, things do happen, and yes, you may get in there, you may suck, you may fail. However, you will figure it out, and you will develop that decorum that's going to be required for you to have the success that you need. By the way, family, been promoting this whole week here. My mentor, my friend, my buddy, that I actually go and get coaching. Yes, with all my experience. Yes, with all my certification. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean jack. Reason why is because of the fact that I've always told you I just want to get 1% better. I always said that it's up to me. No one has control over if I decide to learn or not except me. And now I have the opportunity. And anytime I have the opportunity, I am there. My mentor, my friend, my coach is having a PMP graduate boot camp. Yes, you have to have had your PMP in order to attend this, and it's going to be 7 modules. It's going to run on Saturday, February 24th, as well as Sunday, February 25th, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. I'll have this pinned in the comments. So if there's something that you're interested in, there will be a link in there so you can check it out and see if it's a fit for you. All right, let's move on. Point number 2, invest in personal development. I guess that just perfect timing, huh? Investing in personal development, or I should say professional development. This is a true example. On this Saturday, the 24th and 25th, I'm investing in my professional development. I'm not saying, oh, well, I have all these years of experience. I don't need to go to any more training around PMP. And if you know anything about PMP, you have to have 60 PDUs, which are professional development units. I've already got mine. That doesn't matter. I still want to get better. I still want to be I want to be the best at this. No, I don't want to be best. I want to be exceptional at this thing that I love, that I hope you fall in love with, called project management. So ensuring that you allocate resources to attend industry conferences, workshops, webinars. I'm creating a community. I seen that. I appreciate you, Kyle, for jumping in early in this, what I'm doing, but we're creating a community. It will be available really. I mean, it's available now, but I'm going to start putting in the pieces. It should be really live and up, and I'll bring it to the family for you guys to jump in and join. But the link is in the description somewhere, so you can check that out. But what the whole point is I want to create a community of like-minded people who are looking to grow. I want to learn something from you, and hopefully that you can learn something from me. Let's move on to point number 3. Point number 3, embrace the learning curve. This is going to be hard for a lot of people because when you are a new project manager, you don't know, you know the theories, but the theories from actual will work or being pragmatic is two different things. Yes, the theories are important. Yes, the theories will help you along your journey. But being able to actually lead a project from beginning to end, you get to see what are some areas of opportunity here. And then just don't do that. Here's an actionable step, because I want to make sure I'm giving my new project managers actionable things that they can take today, not tomorrow. I'll give you tonight to think it over with, but actionable steps where you literally can basically, when you're leading your project from initiating to closing, get your journal. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm going to create a product for that too, by the way. But anyway, I digress. Get you a in the meantime, you can go to the dollar store, Amazon, wherever. Get you a 8x5, or I don't even know what the size is, but get you some a Mead notebook. Write in there the things that you learned, that you were learning along the way while you were leading that project, from all the way again from initiating to closing. These notes are going to be so powerful for you as you move on to your next project, because you're going to see what you've done extremely well. You're going to see where there's some, I call them areas of opportunity, basically meaning what you need to work on. And then what are some things that you would have liked if you could have done it differently, basically led that project differently. So these are going to, put them in those 3 categories, because that is going to really help you out, in the long term. Again, what did you do well? What are some areas of opportunity, meaning things you've done, that you just didn't do right, basically. And then the third category is, if you got to lead this same project over again, what would you have done differently? This is going to be key for your advancement in this thing that I love, that I hope you fall in love with, called project management. Point number 4, develop your leadership style. That's one thing I need to do, is put more leadership videos on here, and they are definitely coming, family. I'm going to pump out a lot of leadership videos. The reason why is because this is one of your key foundational principles when you're leading an actual project, and it's actually part of project management. I think it's the 12 principles or something of that nature, but leadership is in there. And the reason why leadership is important is that you need to understand what your leadership style is, and it's going to be different on each project. It's going to be different as you continue to grow as a project manager. It's going to be different in different situations when you're dealing with different stakeholders, because there's going to be certain stakeholders that you may need to lead with a democratic leadership style. There may be one that you need to lead with a more of an autocratic leadership style. be some that you have more of the lazy affair type approach of leadership, but you need to understand your leadership style. I'm going to give you those 11 that I know of. There's probably plenty more out there in this world of called leadership. So I'm going to unpack 11 of them right now. And then I'm going to give you out of those 11 three that I'm actually kind of doing currently right now. And again, like I said, it's interchangeable. Next week, I may be a different type of three of leadership. And this is why I love project management, because you have an opportunity to have that type of flexibility, because you don't know who the stakeholders you're going to be dealing with, what their experiences level is. And that's why I'm saying to you that you may jump around from different leadership styles. Let's get into these 11 extremely fast. It's going to be at a high level. It's going to be fast, but it's going to be concise. I want to make sure you get those. First one is democratic leadership, democratic, autocratic, lazy affair, strategic, transformational, transactional, coaching, bureaucratic, visionary, pace setting, and situational. Out of those 11 that I've named, let me tell you the three that I'm currently operating in. And again, I just want to leave this caveat that from time to time, it could be any of those 11, from democratic to autocratic. It all depends on what type of project I'm leading at that time, and where I'm at as far as my progression of the stakeholders I'm dealing with. So three that I'm actually currently in is the transformational leadership, coaching leadership, and situational leadership. Now I want to give you, I know I'm going deep today on this, but I'm going deep enough so you can have something to go do some homework on. And like I said, I'm going to put out a video around leadership and these different styles, and I'll go a little bit deeper to help some of those people out there that want to know more about this. But the first one is transformational leadership. So the benefits there is just really about inspiring and motivating, team members, and allowing them to see that they can get past their limited beliefs. So basically what you're doing is helping them exceed their expectation. Now the downside, or the area of opportunity slash what I'm saying is the challenge, is it demands a high level of energy. I mean, there's a commitment required of the leader, which can be difficult to sustain over long periods. So that's why I said is interchangeable. And the next one is coaching leadership. This is really around one of my favorite topics. Is it's really focused on personal development and really led to for highly skilled and adaptable team members. Now with this coachable leadership, is you can't really use this with a lot of different stakeholders, but you can use this with a lot of different stakeholders, if that makes any sense. Now the challenge is, again, it requires a significant amount of time as a leader, and it can be very fast paced, and sometimes it can really you can have a lot of resource constraints around it, because sometimes the resource are environments, as far as the constraints for the resources, excuse me, there can be some challenges there where you don't, because you're moving so fast, your stakeholders are unable to keep up. So that's the challenge, or the area of opportunity there. And the last and final one, situational leadership. It's just more or less basically it's the flexibility that allows leaders to adapt their style to specific needs of their team members and situation, and leading effective leadership across various, or I should say a very variety of scenarios. And that just translates to, family, of just saying that you meet your stakeholders where they are, and then you lead them where they need to go. And that's one of the things I love about situational leadership, because it's not something that it's already pre-described or prescribed. Is one of those things you got to you have to develop that connection. And that's one of my gifts and talents, of being able to connect with a stakeholder and then find out where they're at are, and then take them where they need to go. However, with this, here comes the area of opportunity and a challenge. It requires leaders to be highly, and I do mean highly, perceptive and adaptable. You have to be adaptable, and you need to understand when you need to shift your approach, which sometimes it can create a lot of complexity, because you have to maintain that with that stakeholder that you develop that with. So it's not a one size fit all type leadership approach. That's why I said I want you guys to go do your homework on those 11. But these three are kind of, I wanted to give you an example of the three that I am. Point number 5, be willing to learn. Listen, one of the things that I seen that helped me out in my career, and it still helps me out to this day, a lot of times as project managers, we think we got to go in there and know everything. That is incorrect. It's better if you don't. Mhm. Now I know some of my experienced project managers, they're gonna feel some kind of way about that. What do you mean it's better that you don't? Because if you are coming in, and I'll give you an example out there to my grumpy project managers that's been in this game for a while. The reason why I say you it's better that you don't. Imagine you going into a new organization and you're leading a project. You're not going to know everything. You're not going to know the politics that comes with this. You're not going to know the resources that's going to be required. You develop that over time. Yes, you have a foundation of what's required. However, the people that's been there for years know way more than you do. So you develop that. So bringing the conversation full circle to my new project manager, what I would do, new project managers, is I would literally connect with my stakeholders that I see stand out to me, or that are in certain subject matter, certain subject matter experts that I have no clue what's going on, and have a one on one with them through conversation, just asking questions with curiosity, showing interest in what they're doing. I don't care who they are. Listen, if you reached out to me and said, "Hey, I really want to, connect with you. I really want you, to mentor me and things of this nature." Now, there is a cost involved, but I'm still saying, as far as with this particular piece here, I would definitely would want to do it, because I understand, I have an opportunity to learn from you, and you have an opportunity to learn from me. And with a new stakeholder, they see by pouring into you as a new project manager, and as you continue to grow, you're going to want to work with them. And you may say, "Hey, I want to request Ricky for this project, because I remember my very first project that I worked on. Ricky was very important. Matter of fact, he helped guide me in certain. He helped me get out of certain roadblocks that I potentially would have went into if I didn't have Ricky there." And what does that do for Ricky? That gives Ricky an opportunity to be great. All right, let's move on to point number 6. Build strong team dynamics. It's kind of really piggybacking off of point number 5, but it's very important, family. Your team, your stakeholders mean everything to the project. You will not be able to do this alone, and I would advise that you don't do it alone. That's why you are the head of leading this team. So actionable tips here, family, is facilitating regular team building activities to promote collaboration. That is the key word. You need to find ways to promote collaboration, because when you do that, then you have an opportunity for the team to have success. And also celebrate your team. I mean, if it's budget constraints, then hey, send an email to that stakeholders manager and say, "Hey," and copy that stakeholder, say, "Hey, for this particular project, it was amazing working with this person," or, "Hey, they knocked out this task so fast. I'm so grateful that you allowed them to have that bandwidth to work on this project." So again, family, because this can go, that may go in their file when it comes to performance appraisals, then boom, that manager can pull it out and say, "Oh man, I remember when we got that from the project manager, how you really excelled there and you did extremely amazing." Point number 7, understand your project inside and out. Now, I know it sounds like a contradiction of me saying, "Hey, you don't know, you need to know everything," but you need to know everything when it comes to project management, because you're not going to know what the actual project is all the time. Because why? A project is temporary endeavor. So yeah, you may have a baseline to say, "Okay, it's an application. I'm working on an application type project," but you need to have the fundamentals. The fundamentals is more or less is initiating to closing. The fundamentals is, okay, I need a project schedule. The fundamentals is, I need a project plan. A project plan and a project schedule are two different artifacts. But if you don't subscribe to that and know your project, then you're going to say, "Oh yeah, I can look at my project plan for my task," and it's not accurate. So again, family, we want to ensure that we know our project inside out for the things that is project related. We can build up our aptitude when it comes to understanding the actual project versus knowing that we need to have a foundation of project management. All right, let's move on to point number 8. Stay informed about industry trends. This is very key, family. We want to ensure that Again, participating in webinars, watching videos like this, um, signing up for the PMP bootcamp that I told you about. If you are a PMP graduate, if you have your PMP, finding resources, PMI is really good. I'm putting together resources for new project managers to get you guys more engaged, to understand industry trends, like how all of a sudden agile is really the biggest thing in project management, and it's actually incorporated into PMBOK 6 and I do believe 7. So you want to make sure that you get this information as fast as possible when it is coming out. Two bonuses, and then I'll let you guys go, family. First bonus is enhance decision making skills. Family, when you've made the decision that this is the thing you want to do, called project management, you want to find ways to continue to enhance the way you make decisions, not choices, decisions. We've always talked about there's a huge difference. Matter of fact, it's a significant difference between a decision and a choice. And I have to tell you, when you're leading a project, every decision that you make, you're not going to get it right. But you know you've done it. You made a decision, and now you've seen the outcome, and now you have a chance to pivot. A lot of people won't make a decision. They'd rather not make a decision, and when they don't make a decision, that what they don't know is a decision has already been made for them. So family, make a decision, have the courage to make that decision and stand in it. And if you have to pivot, no problem. That's why we have change management in place. All right, last and final bonus. This is very key, family, and this is when I say message, navigate conflict with diplomacy. You're going to have to understand that there will be some conflicts in your project. You will have stakeholders push back. They will give you a laundry list of the reasons why something is not going to work. And they can give you three of why it might work. So you have to understand and navigate through that effectively. So seek a win solution by involving all parties in the resolution process. When you are going through that, you want to make sure that you're getting everyone that is having this conflict together, meaning first starting off one on one and then bringing them together collectively. I just have three points of my closing remarks, and I appreciate your attention, family. First one, you are not an imposter. We've all experienced this, and like I stated earlier at the beginning of this video, I don't, as many years of experience I have, I still, if I walk into a new organization and leading a project, I'm going to feel nervous. Not nervous that I can't do the job, not nervous that I can't execute on what has been asked of me, but I'm nervous because I put on a lot of expectation on myself to be exceptional. But I still have to understand that there's still a process, there's still a journey, because all of these people are new, the organization is new, so I can't beat myself up that, oh man, I didn't know that, I didn't know. I'm going to learn it along the way. So you, again, are not an imposter. Point number two, learn and develop your leadership styles. I went over 11 with you from a high level, and then I went deeper with three of them that I'm actually doing right now. So again, go back and listen to the video about those 11 and go do your homework on those. I'm actually going to do a video on those 11 because as I was doing my homework, I was like, man, I haven't done a video on these 11 different types of leadership styles. So do that. In the last and final point, please invest in personal and professional development as you move along in your career. I truly hope that you enjoyed today's video. I took my time with this because I know what it feels like to be a new project manager, the anxiety, the pressure that we're already putting on ourselves, and then what the stakeholders are putting on ourselves. And don't be one of those that you are a new project manager, meaning you're the first one that they've hired. That's even a challenge. So there's so many challenges, but I'm going to tell you this, you got this. I'm going to tell you this, you can do this. I'm going to tell you this, you have to believe in yourself the way I'm believing in you right now. Until next time, it's your boy ED. I'm out.